Not surprisingly, raiding these castles has been quite the lucrative adventure. I mean, as you can see, I have pretty much all the books I could ever need, as well as several stacks of diamond and some new rare items, which I still have no idea what any of them do. But my armor has already broken nearly. I mean, I say that it's at its sort of a risky place where I would like to return home. And the unfortunate side effect of that is, well, this won't... it's not sustainable is what I mean. So I really need to create a better source of experience than fighting these places, because I can't sustain my armor long enough. Health-wise, I'm generally fairly good, but the armor doesn't work for me. It just constantly breaks, and I'm unable to continue fighting, and then I have to return home and spend the experience I just gathered to repair it. Like, I was on 30 already. I would repair this with like 33 experience or something, and then be back where I started, or even less. So I really need to figure out a way to do that better, but I'm not going to worry about that for now. However, I will show off one thing that I found, which is really cool. So this magic mirror I used for mining originally, because I learned that when you right-click with it, it teleports you to the last place you saw the sky. But if you place it in the backpack, it stores the last place you stood before you put it in the backpack. So if I go like this, you can see that I return home, and then if I take my tool bag and put this back inside, now it is saved once again, and I can return here from anywhere in the world, which is fantastic. It really speeds things along. So I'm gonna head upstairs and go to bed because it is night, and then hopefully we'll have the experience to make the bow that I have in mind. Of course, I will have to sort through all the things I gathered, but I'll do that at a later date. I got some new backpacks and such, but one of the things that I've found, and let's see if I can find it in here, is actually the bow I had intended to make. So that really saves me a lot of time and effort if it is in fact in here still. Ah, there we are, the crystal bow. Now I will show you how it's made. This just takes diamonds and a regular bow, but this is the best of the preferred, magical bows that this pack has on offer, which is fantastic. The other thing that I will quickly do, of course, is take out these stacks of books that I have and fill up the last pieces of this. Alright, and there we are. We now have a full bookshelf room, which is fantastic. This will do quite nicely. So we can actually sort this a little bit. There we are. Now, what we'll do is we'll place the bow in here and see what we can get. Now, I want Unbreaking 3, obviously, to keep this thing restored. You can also see that with the full bookshelves, I can do 122 levels in here. So we'll do this and this. There we go. Enchantment cost 58. Now, I won't be using Infinity. I'll show you why. I mean, it's pretty easy to see why. But anyhow, so there we are. We now have the Power 5, Punch 2, Unbreaking 3, and Flame 1 on our bow, which is great. I will also try to repair probably my chest plate, because that is the most broken. Nope, I can't do it. So I may end up having to wear my diamond armor again. But that's not so bad. Anyhow, what we need now is another item that I got. Now, I tested this out in a creative world a while ago, so I was very fortunate to find one of these, because you cannot craft them, but these quivers, the way they work is when you grab hold of one and you fill your inventory with arrows, I don't know how many exactly, you can right-click and it puts them by stacks in here. So it can hold 200 at its max, that's fine. It's probably more than I need. And then you can go like so, and it will fire. And of course, because I'm not using Infinity, I can pick it up and add it back. So now, whenever I'm out in the world fighting people, whenever they drop arrows, I mean, you can see I got 41 in here, and I probably have more in my other bags. If I kill them and they drop arrows, I can just restore the quiver, and I can use it from anywhere in my inventory, so that's pretty great. And as you can see, compared to a normal bow, this one charges up really quick, and it does a lot of damage. I mean, I don't have any mobs to test it on nearby, but I could probably snipe like a pig from this distance. I missed. I'm not the best shot, admittedly. There we go, 19 damage with that. So most mobs this can kill in one hit. I won't collect those arrows, I'm not that bothered. I had the profound and fantastic revelation that quartz mining is just a fantastic way to get experience. I should have thought of it from the start instead of going and raiding those dungeons, but that was quite fun. Either way, now I have a ton of quartz for anything I could ever want, and I have fully repaired my armor, I still have yet to get it the highest level in chance, but you know, that is for a future project. All the same, we have made a lot of good progress towards my goal of fighting the Wither today, but there is one last thing I need, which is, of course, the actual skeleton skulls with which to create the horrible undead beast. Now, there is a way to do this, which is fantastic, and it's in Tinker's Construct, so let's grab this. I believe that this documents all of the tools. Yes, it does. So, there is a fancy sword, which is only possible to be made with the Tool Forge, which is called the Cleaver. And it has a special ability, which is Beheading 2, which makes it so that it beheads mobs more frequently. You can also manually put on beheading on tools. All it takes is a piece of an obsidian and an ender pearl, as you can see here, to make it more common. So it already begins with Beheading 2. I believe each level of beheading increases the chances by 10%. So I'll put on a few levels of beheading, and then I will have a tool that is very capable of doing that. Now, I already smelted the manulin, as you remember from the beginning, and I did also make the large blade cast, which is what the gold was for that I had in there. So, we can pour this in here. I have also already gathered the other pieces, of course, which are these paper large plate, the paper tough rod, and the slime tough rod. So all of these things will combine together to make my tool and give me 2 extra modifiers while still having a fairly decent amount of durability. In fact, I think it will have the same amount of durability as my rapier here. Now, what we do want to do is grab some quartz here, so that'll be good. And we want to get Beheading 3, I think, is my goal with this. So I will grab 3 pieces of obsidian. Let's see if I have that anywhere. I'm not sure where I would have put it, honestly. Oh, it might be in here, actually, with all my other sort of spare... Oh, wow, 3 pieces. Okay, well, I need to get more obsidian, but for now, 3 pieces will do. And I also need 3 ender pearls. So, there we are. Perfect, we have quartz, we have this. I believe that we're good to go. So, return to the tool forge. We can click cleaver here. Put the large blade, paper plate, the slime rod in like so. And now we have this. I have also missed one important thing, which I have missed for all my other tools and weapons, which is that you can actually name these things, and you have to do it before you craft them. So I'm going to steal a Latin word here for wither, because I feel like that's appropriate. And there we are. We now have this. So we'll put it in here, and I have 5 modifiers remaining, so I can begin like so. Beheading 1, 2, and 3, which combined with the sword, as you remember, will make this Beheading 5, so theoretically I should have a 50% chance. And then when I go in like so, I can... And there we are. We have the maximum level of sharpness that we can get on this tool currently. Now, it looks a little goofy, I'll admit, because it's got that, like, ender pearl and a weird slash across the side. But this will be very effective. Now, there is one flaw of these weapons, which is that they give you mining fatigue. It's designed to be like a slow, heavy weapon, but that is perfectly fine because it does a lot of damage, and it's more utility for us at this point. The final thing that I do want to do, though, of course, is to grab 1 block of gold and 1 diamond and place that in here as well. So now we have an extra modifier, and I could put more sharpness on this. However, I don't believe that increasing the sharpness anymore will be useful for me, because I don't think I'll reach a point where I can one-shot enemies. So instead, what I'm going to do is actually put lapis on. Now I want to get 9 of this so I can start using blocks. So, oh wow, I have exactly 9 in here. So I'll grab 9 here and some here. Now we have used lapis in the past on the pickaxe, which served as the fortune enchantment. But if I grab the 64 blocks like I have here, and place them in with the modifiers, you'll notice that this also gives you a feature. But this feature, instead of being fortune, will actually be looting. As you can see, I now have looting 1, so I'll just keep doing this until I reach 450. Hopefully I'll be able to do it with the 1 stack that I have. And as you can see, we now have this fully complete. So we have Beheading 5, technically, 2 levels of sharpness, and 3 levels of looting on this sword. So all I need to do is find some unwitting person to test this on, and then we'll be good. Also, these are beginning to grow, which is great. They're finally fully grown, Now, unfortunately, I have done a little bit of research, and it looks like they don't replicate like the other berries do. But that's fine, I have a little small garden here, and every time I go mining, I should hopefully be able to add to that. I did make this cow pen right at the start of the game, and I didn't really tend to feed them all that much because I got so much leather from fighting in the dungeons that this became completely redundant. It was useful for my first backpack, but after that, not as much. But if I go like this, okay, 17 damage, probably because I have strength. But if I go like so, you can see, amazing. So now I have tons of leather and beef. That's fantastic. So now whenever I fight mobs, I should get more drops from them, which will expedite my progress, because there's one specific item I'm looking for. The Wither Skeleton drops not only its heads, but also an item referred to as the Necrotic Bone. And I've already used one of them in the past. I used that on my sword to give it lifesteal. But necrotic bones also can be used for another purpose, which I reveal once I finally get them. So, let's go to the nether and begin fighting some of these wither skeletons, and then hopefully I'll be able to kill both the wither and build the next thing that I have in mind. Now I'll need a total of 10 necrotic bones in order to do it, so let's see if I can get that.